Welcome to SunnySpeaks, here again with another review for you, and you. And today, I'm here to talk about Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim, directed by Kenji Kamiyama and starring Gaia Wise, Brian Cox, Luke Pasqualino, and many more. 183 years before the events of the original trilogy, the story follows Hera, princess and daughter to the king of Rohan, Helm Hammerhand. After experiencing unexpected conflict from a rivaling family seeking power, the Hammerhand family and the people of Rohan fight for their lives and the future of royalty of Rohan. The animation was the main reason why I went to go see this movie, and in the beginning of the film, I was underwhelmed. Someone I went to go see the movie with said that it looked like the characters didn't fit the backdrops of the environment, and I definitely felt the same. Also, the mouths when characters talk for some reason bothered me at first, but this movie does have an anime vibe to it, and that's kind of par for the course with that type of animation. Someone else I was with said that they wanted sub instead of dub as a joke, and again, in the beginning, I would have preferred that. But the voice acting really won me over in this movie. Gaia Wise as Hera Hammerhand does a great job with her character. I really liked the fact that she was very dynamic. She could go from being peaceful and kind and heroic and brave, and it was all consistent with her character and the actions she took throughout the film. The narrator said in the beginning that Hera is not named in the history books, and it was cool to be able to notice how her actions in the film could be glossed over. Like, there were many different times where she did things that were very important to the plot and the outcome of the entire movie that maybe one person knew about or nobody, and yet if she didn't do those things, everything would be different. And I really thought it was cool to watch a character like that who is so integral to everything happening, but is somebody who's in the shadows and isn't really taking the center stage that much and making that type of character our main character. She plays chess while her enemies play checkers, but with the purity at heart, and it was a cool character to watch. Brian Cox as Helm Hammerhand is a standout for sure. You probably know him from Succession. I haven't seen that show. This is my first real introduction to him as an actor for real, and I really enjoyed his performance. His character, Helm Hammerhand, is OP in the most fun way possible, and the vocal performance from Brian Cox as Helm, I really appreciated. His character seemed one-dimensional at first, but he is very three-dimensional. I really liked the fact that by the second half and the last part of the movie, you really start to understand that he is arrogant and he is cocky and has reason to feel that way, but he puts his family above himself and he is compassionate and he does care about his people. And I really like how they kind of reveal that to you. It's kind of breaking the expectation as far as what you might think that character will be. Honestly, the rest of the Hammerhands, Hera's brothers, Hama and Halith, are both really cool characters too, voiced by Azdan Kafori, hopefully I said that right, and Benjamin Wainwright. They were both really dope, and I really liked their vocal performances. Hama was probably my favorite out of the family because he was a musician and also an archer, and I thought that was just a cool blend of traits to have, and he just also had like a soft heart. He was going crazy with his archery too, and I just thought he was a cool character. The first real war scene was when I got invested. The action in this movie is dope. Really cool set pieces and visual execution. In The Lord of the Rings, the humans aren't really that interesting to me. It's normally like hobbits or wizards or elves. I honestly thought that from the promotional. I thought Hera was an elf, honestly. But this movie definitely showed me that humans can be really cool too. Obviously, Aragorn from the original trilogy is dope, but he's a little bit more of an elevated human. There are some elevated humans in this one as well, but I really did appreciate these characters, and I didn't expect to when I was kind of realizing like, oh, these are all just human people. But they definitely proved me wrong. And by each battle scene, I was invested for sure. I really enjoyed just like the way that they would set up scenes, the way like certain action moments, certain action sequences. But the first battle for me, the first real war scene, was definitely my favorite out of the entire movie. The cinematography is cool. I wasn't that impressed. Not to say that it's not impressive, but it wasn't something that stuck out to me to really speak on further. The soundtrack is very reminiscent of what you would expect from Lord of the Rings, and it worked in certain moments. Definitely can build up good tension and emotional resonance with the music, and as it's swelling and the characters are saying something inspiring or something cool, the music does a great job of aiding in that emotional resonance and making you feel what the characters are feeling. And the Lord of the Rings music is just iconic. So if you enjoyed that type of music, and if it's nostalgic to you, you will enjoy the music in here. The villains in this movie were the worst part of the film to me. While they have understandable motivations, I guess, I didn't care about them at all. And they are definitely the worst part. They look very generic to me, and when the story was focusing on them, I didn't care at all, honestly. Luke Pasqualino does a solid job voicing Wolf, the main villain of this movie, but I never cared about his goals or even felt that much of a threat from his character for our protagonist. So, kind of just like how I said with the Moana 2 review, where you're not really worried about the villain, even though this villain, Wolf, is better than the Moana 2 villain by miles, but you don't really feel that much of a threat by him. It's more just like, let's see how our protagonists win rather than like, how are they going to stop this threat? So, overall, to me, though, I think this is a solid film, but something I probably wouldn't watch again, to be honest. The experience seeing it with friends and talking about it after definitely elevated the film to me right after leaving. But days removed, I don't think I'll think about the film any further. I would give it a mostly cloudy rating. I enjoyed myself throughout, though. I think it was a fun and enjoyable entry into the Lord of the Rings mythos, but the original trilogy for me is really all I need. At the same time of saying that, though, I do think this movie is satisfying if you go into it just wanting to enjoy the Lord of the Rings world. And it is, to me, better than all of the Hobbit movies. When me and my friends left the theater, there were two guys who asked us what we thought about it. And I said it was cool. My friend said they really liked it. And then this one guy was like, yeah, I didn't like that at all. And to be honest with you, and I wish I would have said this in real time, but I do believe that that was just the case because the main character was a woman. Because I don't think that this movie had anything horrible about it throughout. Like, it's not the best thing in the world. Again, I'm not giving it the highest rating, but I do believe that it's something that if you want to go see it, you definitely can, and you wouldn't feel like you're wasting your money at all. It's a enjoyable experience with really cool characters. The characters are really what shine throughout this movie more than the world, honestly. The characters and their dynamics, the family. It's a really cool experience is seeing these characters grow over time or over the runtime. So yeah, I would give this movie a mostly cloudy rating. Let me know what you think about the movie in the comments down below. If you have seen The War of the Rohirrim, like and subscribe if you're new. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here as well. And let me know if this review made you want to go watch the movie or not. And also, in the comments down below, let me know your favorite Lord of the Rings movie. I'm very curious because there's like now 7 of them. So I would really hope that maybe we would get more animated movies like this. I think it would just be really cool to maybe with what DC is doing with like having like the connected reality where it can be animated, it can be live action, but it'll all exist in the same world. It'd be really cool. And this movie made me want to go watch the original animated Lord of the Rings just to see how good that is. So if you've seen that, let me know what you think about that as well. But I'm out. This is my review. Mostly cloudy rating for this film. Enjoyed it. Peace.